Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mbah has announced plans to establish 2 new universities, the Enugu State University of Education and Technology and the Enugu State University of Agriculture and Technology, as part of efforts to transform the state into a hub for education, innovation and diaspora collaboration. Now he unveiled this plan at the State House, Abuja, on Monday during the launch of Diaspora Bridge, a platform, a digital innovation for connecting Nigerians, of course, professionals in diaspora with local tertiary institutions for collaboration in research, teaching, innovation, and capacity building. Joining us now to assess this is Barr Chidi Ujoatumba, CEO of Ujoatumba and Company. He's also a human rights lawyer. Barr Chidi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Welcome.
So many stories, two key stories right now. I'm sure you do. First and foremost, we have the story of the 2 new universities that are underway in Enugu, and also the fact that the governor of Ebonyi State, Right Honorable Francis Wifuru, has decided to read the Riot Act to some of his appointees, suspending no fewer than 85, a lot more than that. But let's start with Enugu State, where we are right now. The moves by the governor to establish 2 new universities, one for agriculture, another one for education. Your reaction to this?
Okay, it's we all can look at it from the area of educational development. It's a good thing that we're going to have 2 new universities, coupled with the effort of the government to bring up a lot of smart schools all around the state. But I keep on asking myself this question. We already have a lot of universities in Enugu, and those universities have Department of Agriculture and Department of Education. So how are these ones faring? You understand? Those who graduate from this Department of Agriculture, let's take for instance Enugu State University, ESUET, which I graduated from, you understand? That the agricultural department there, to what extent have the government empowered them? Those who graduate there, how much of them have they been integrated into main agriculture? What has the government over the past set up to empower the agricultural department of the existing universities? What are these structure? What does the structure look like? I welcome innovative ideas and I love them, but the only thing I use to measure them is sustainability. Sustainability is our watchword. To what extent can we go? Because this is going to take up funds. Yes, it will create employment, but I am asking the question, those existing agricultural and educational structures, we have a college already of education right here, an institution meant for education. To what extent have they been empowered? Those who are graduating from there, have we been able to export human resources from that education college that is existing here? You understand? What is the quality of graduates who are coming out from this institution? To what extent have they improved the quality of education in Enugu State? These are the pertinent questions that we have to ask. I believe in sustainability, and I was thinking that Mr. President, the governor of this state, would have told the part that he is also touring in the area of infrastructure, because he went back and looked at existing structures that that holds the glory of this state, and he keep on bringing them into limelight and making them a spotlight right now as we speak. So I'm also looking at education. Graduates, how are they faring? How many industries are in existence to mop up these graduates that are coming out in hundreds of thousands? Our curriculum that is dilapidated and is just there to churn out those who be answering you, yes, yes, yes. What have we done to our curriculum? I am looking
at... Actually, what's wrong with answering yes?
Yeah.
Okay, you mean yes members.
Oh yes members. You understand? We're in the era of innovation.
Right.
We're in the era of
I want to bring something to your thoughts. I want to bring something to your thoughts, right? So education, Enugu State University of Agriculture and Technology and Enugu State University of Education and Technology. Don't you think, like we all know, the government is very strategic? As you stated, yes, University of Enugu State, University of Science and Technology, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, they have agricultural department, even engineering department have agriculture right there, right? But my question is, what could it be that he's being strategic and trying to like have now in focus? Like this institution is focused on these, department, agriculture, and fixing tech into it, like a new innovation.
Let me tell you, you can't put something on top of nothing and expect it to last. Do you know how much Britain earns a year for students who are coming from all over the world to come and study? They don't have oil, they don't have gold, they have established institutions that are into human development. That's why we go there to study. So why don't we make ESUET one of them? Why don't we make Enugu State College, this one here,
in front of
ShopRite, one of them? Wait a minute.
Okay.
Do you know the name of ESUET? Enugu State University of Science and Technology. What is the science and what is the technology in it? Let's start from there. The letter incorporated other departments like law. I read law in ESUET. So what is that science and that technology in that? Is it all about nomenclature? Is it all about just calling something a name? Sustainability should be our watchword. I am looking at when people from all over sub-Saharan Africa will be coming to state universities in Southeast here to study.
Watching a broader view, right? Could it be too, because regarding
it will
the
increase
Diaspora,
the budget of this state.
You know, because I'm talking about...
It will take up lands. It will take up people's lands as I'm speaking with you. It will increase the budget. It might create employment, but you have to also look at that employment in the light of government expenditure. Payment of salary is a recurring expenditure. Do we have to make this amount of investment before we can make the life of ordinary person on the street better? That's the question I'm asking you.
But the broader view, right? Enugu is going to experience influx of individuals in coming years.
The one that they have been experiencing. Do you know what they call Enugu? They call Enugu a city of civil servants and students. Even before I came to this city, the one they have been experiencing over this number of years, you understand? What has it benefited to Enugu?
But
how many industries in this state can boast of employing more than 300 persons, private or PPP, government, private, public partnership? How many industries?
Okay, Barrister Chidi,
let's be pragmatic.
Let's try.
Good education.
Sorry, let me come in, Barrister Chidi. Let's try to get something straight for the sake of viewers that are following this program.
Okay.
Now we have the Enugu State University of Science and Technology. We have the ESUET Business School as well. These are all within Enugu State. And you have other private universities as well. You have the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. You know, that's in Nsukka. So
resident in Enugu State.
Let me finish my question, Barrister Chidi. Now the question I have for you is, with all of this, does Enugu State, and I need you to answer me clearly and straightly, does Enugu State need 2 new universities? And if so, what necessitates those 2 universities?
To my own, would you respect the governor is doing the right job, okay? But I'm being realistic here and critical and analytical. We don't need a new university. We don't need a new university. We need what we call, we need vocational centers, where our graduates who are roaming about the streets can go and professionalize in certain skill sets so that they can be functional in this current economy. That's all we need. We need some sort of vocational centers scattered all over the town, in AI, in technology, in all kinds of industry, whereby they can go. We have a lot of both public and private universities. We should now look at those who attend, how much are they paying? Can we make education a little bit easy for people? Not creating more universities. I don't think we need more universities without bringing out a template that shows how the existing ones are faring. How many funds are they getting from the state government? How many support are they getting from the state government? Those who are working there, how are they faring? The various departments that are running in these existing universities, what is the kind of manpower they are running with? What kind of capacity? When we're talking about bringing in foreign, abroad people, or rather those who have had that kind of foreign education, why can't we integrate them into the existing universities? Knowledge you can't be better than your teacher. You can't. You can't be better than the system that produced you. So if we have capacity building in the area of those who are teaching them, lecturers, if we have the best brains, I bet you, even if it's only one university in Enugu, we will produce the kind of human resources that will shake the entire world. It's not just all about bringing universities. We have to look at what is the quality of these universities. So in my own judgment and in my own analytical thinking, that we don't need a new university. All we need is to boost the capacity of the existing ones and ensure that they have the wherewithal to produce students who can stand their place, with other students all over the world.
But
That's what we're talking about.
isn't it a great deal that the present governor is paying much keen attention to education? You know, the budget, about 33% of it is channeled to education, the smart schools and all that. And so is this not part of him improving the educational system in Enugu and to broaden it, by the way, so other universities here, wouldn't get oversaturated?
How would they get oversaturated? What's the population of Enugu State?
The influx of people, because apparently it's not just Enugu indigens, right? There are so many people who school in Enugu are not even from here. Some from the south,
I wanted to go into that statistics right now, because I wanted to go into that statistics because most people, this thing it cut across board, okay? All the private and public universities in the southeast, they basically have almost every tribe and every person from every part of this country schooling.
But it depends on how conducive the environment is for learning.
It depends on how conducive the environment
is more attractive.
It depends on the nature of the institution, and it also depends on the quality of knowledge transfer. It's not all about the number of institutions. It's about the quality of knowledge. Knowledge transfer is all about the quality of knowledge.
You're talking about quality of knowledge now. Let's look at these two ideas. Enugu State University of Education and Technology. And then you have Enugu State University of Agriculture and Technology. So you see, these universities are coined to be very specific, because you remember when the SSG spoke about the quality of public school of teachers that were in Enugu, many of them could not even pass the exam at the time. I mean, there were lots of concerns about the quality of teachers that we had. So you have a school, a university that is in the works, dedicated to education. Perhaps that would also be a way of training next generation teachers. Then our Greek, a university that could also be connected to the emerging farm estates that are coming up in Enugu. So it's almost like an ecosystem that is being created, one that will serve a sustainable education system in the state, and another that will help train the next generation. Let's borrow President Tinubu's word of sexy agricultural farmers, right? So essentially, do you see this? Can we discuss this from the light of specific education as well? Because you talked about vocational training. Is this going to be providing some kind of service in the area of letting people learn things, specific subjects that would help drive the emerging ecosystem in the state?
I understand the narratives you are trying to drive, but I asked you an earlier question. The existing universities that are coined or rather strategically established with numerous departments to take care of these two key issues. Let's take, for instance, education, technology, and agriculture. So when these new ones are now being empowered to meet the demand that you are railing out, what happens to those ones?
The question now is, have those ones dilapidated to the point that they are almost unmanageable? I mean, I visited ESUET, Abani, and to be honest, there are many places that are in need of improvement. And I'll state it clearly, and eventually we're going to do an in-depth report on that. There are places that are in need of urgent rehabilitation. But is it a case of what we're seeing with the schools that are community schools and the rest that are now being basically left behind, shall we say that, for the smart schools? Because the Enugu State government, I remember a post that SSA to the governor of mainstream media made saying that one of the reasons why Enugu is trying to create new schools is because of the extreme dilapidation of the existing public schools that we have in the state. Do you think that that's the same lens that these universities are being seen from? Is that why the government is trying to create two additional universities? Is it that ESUET is beyond rehabilitation?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because the governance is all about using the existing resources that you have to meet the demand of the people that you are governing. How much does Enugu State have? Can we afford 2 new universities? How many people will be employed? It will add to Enugu State's what? Recurring expenditure. So how would they cover up on those areas? Why don't we take a chunk of that money to sustain and rehabilitate the existing ones and give them target and plunge in that technology into the existing one that have been there for years, that have produced professors, that have produced people who are scattered all over the world. So I'm thinking from an entirely different direction. I'm thinking like a leader. I'm also thinking like an economist. Enugu State is borrowing money. Enugu State is on the list of the states that are borrowing money. Where are we gonna draw all these funds from? So what is the problem that the government of this state is trying to solve? Is it unemployment problem, or is it gap in technology, or is it gap in knowledge transfer? When you pinpoint a problem on the dashboard, you will now bring some strategies to see how you can tackle them, both on the short run and on the long run. So I'm trying to understand what problem is he trying to solve.
Is it a problem of overcrowded classrooms?
Is it a problem of overcrowded classroom? You can expand the universities. Let me tell you, I was handling a case recently whereby someone who was living off campus in an institution, you understand, was involved in something that I thought that probably, if the university has provided enough what do you call it, hostel for this institution, probably this thing wouldn't have happened. Have we really met the need of the existing schools? If the governor's plan in improving education, and one of those plans, let me tell you something now, is to create new schools, okay? Fine and good. We will give him all the support that he requires, but we will equally present him with the demand of the existing
schools.
Let's present him with the demand of the existing schools. In such a way that, let me tell you something, in such a way that both the new schools and the existing schools will run hand in glove in area of technology, in area of human capacity development, in area of what we call enabling educational environment. You can't just create a smart school that is running, let's say, 90 miles on a 90 miles on a 40 mile zone, and this one is running 20. It doesn't make sense. Most of us graduated from this old school.
Let's comment now. Do you see this as, let's take it in the context of what was said during the address. Now, according to what the governor said, there is a drive to position Enugu State as a diaspora innovation hub, meaning that the government is probably trying to solve the issue of brain drain. People leaving the state to go and study abroad, to go and study in other states, because it doesn't appear as if there are enough institutions here to provide options. So people want to choose there. You have someone that wants to leave Enugu to go to Lagos, perhaps to go to University of Lagos, because there are not enough options. And it's either you do ESUET, or you now go and do UNN. I mean, or you go to maybe another private university, let me not mention to avoid advertising. So if we're looking at it in the context of what the governor said, is he envisioning the traffic flow increasing to Enugu when it comes to education, and then trying to provide facilities for these people to actually attend school? Or is it just lofty thinking? Is it possible that Enugu State could become the educational capital?
It's possible that Enugu State can become an educational capital of this country. But it is a strategy that has to be, there must be some organic plan towards it. It's not something that is political. It's not something that will start and end on the pages of the newspaper. It's not something that you can use to do campaign. You understand? All hands must be on deck. And we must know the existing institutions, the funds being given to them. Look, Enugu State mustn't really be the one doing this whole thing. If you have a novel idea, you can partner with foreigners. You can bring an existing school abroad. They can be affiliated to the ones here. It makes costs easy. You understand? The curriculum has been developed. You understand? The schedule and everything. All you need to do is to make this institution affiliated to this institution, so there could be knowledge transfer. In the world of AI, I don't have to go to UK to take a lecture or to go to a classroom, okay? With Zoom and Skype and all these kinds of technology, students here can get enough from students abroad or from professionals and consultants abroad, and it will add to their knowledge. It will add to their capacity. You understand that when they come, look, this Enugu State cannot be the capital of education with numerous number of institutions. No, they can be the capital of education with quality education. That's the only thing that can make the whole difference. If we have numerous institutions here and people are coming in and they are schooling and they're getting education, no industry to employ them, you understand? No, have you talked about accommodation? There's a whole lot of problems already on the ground that can discourage that. So it's a drive. It must be driven organically. Okay, as you are coming, accommodation is going to be a little bit easy. There should be a kind of a rebate or something, or a kind of a low-cost area where students could be, say, if you want to leverage this educational opportunity, accommodation is one of the key things. In Enugu, in the southeast, Enugu is the place where housing, because of taxation. You understand? Even government taxation. Government is taxing people, and all this thing, the end person that suffer all this thing is what? Is the tenant at the end of it. So all these things are contributing. The drive should be organic. It shouldn't just be setting up new institutions, and it has to be driven by the people. It has to be driven by the need. And there should be industries, you understand, that will, let me tell you one thing, government cannot create employment, okay? Why I hammer a lot on entrepreneur energy and spirit and vocational centers and studies is because it's a vicious cycle, okay? If you are churning out people who are looking for a job, oh my God, you're going to create a pool of job seekers. But if you are churning out people who can look at the environment and start creating jobs, okay? You find that you're shifting from a particular point to a different point. You won't have much, because as they are coming out, they are creating jobs. The creation of jobs will equally open the business environment for people from other states to come in. It's not just education. Education without an industry that will employ you is sufferness. It's even worse. You understand? So this is not just education. No. Education, industry, you understand? Education, entrepreneur. Because I have to pay my rent at the end of the day. It's not just getting educated. I have to eat food, okay? So we should make this thing a double barrel investment, okay? Why they are going through this educational program? What are the kind of cottage industries, entrepreneurial setups that will enable them to learn fast skills and start businesses within 3 months, within 6 months? I have been involved in a vocational education center in Imo State, okay, during Rocha's Okorocha time, where they were setting up places where they went outside the town and they brought in people who have mechanic workshop, computer repairs, and they use them to run an institution whereby even if you're a graduate, even if you read engineer, but you can't tell your eyes from your elbow, you can just go inside there. Within 3 months, you've learned smart skills that can make you very, very functional in this economy. You must be functional in this current economy. You must be solving problems. You must be creating jobs, okay?
All right, Chidi, Oji has a question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There's something you stated about influx, right? Making Enugu State educational hub of this region, if not the country, right? So now that so many people are going to be visiting Enugu to school, if that's the case, right? Wouldn't it be right that we have varieties so people could actually go to these institutions? And if we're trying to get into the minds of the governor on how he does things, you know, could it be that he wants something new, fresh, and he could equip, you know, to his taste as these smart schools are being developed?
Yeah, it's good to have varieties. The private universities are also creating those varieties, okay? Varieties are good. If people are coming, if you want to create a hub, there should be some side attraction. That's just what I'm trying to say.
But it starts from somewhere.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be come and study and go. No.
Yeah.
What about if you're studying in Enugu, there's a place where you can live free? Don't you think that one will make more people to come? If you're studying in Enugu, you know, there's a whole lot of varieties, but then there has to be also attractions that can lure people to come. It's not just, would they pay less? Would the smart schools pay less than what the already established schools will pay?
So apparently the smart schools are apparently free to attend. I'm talking about. But let's shift away from there now, because we have to wrap up this conversation. Okay. Do you think the Enugu State government has done enough for Enugu State University of Science and Technology, for ESUET, which is a state university? Has enough been done for the school?
I don't know whether I would be in a proper position to...
I'm sure you've been to ESUET.
Yes, I've been to ESUET, yes.
So what do you think?
In my own judgment, I think enough have not been done. With the speed and pace with which ESUET was established, let me not go there. If that tempo was maintained, I think Enugu State University of Science and Technology should be on a class of some world-class universities by now. So I think they are lacking a lot. A lot needs to be done, both in human capacity development, both in educational, environmental abilities, and also AI. You understand? Or rather, if I use the word generally, technology. So they really need that to come up to the level where people can say, yes, this institution is one of the best, either in the Southeast or in the country. I think a lot needs to be done in this.
All right.